Good morning, my neighbors. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? What's happening, everybody? It's hump day. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right, y'all know, of course, couldn't be the morning motivation without some technical difficulties first thing in the morning, but hadn't had one in a while, so here we go. So, welcome to Morning Motivation, your daily dose of inspiration and empowerment. I'm your host, Jamon, and I'm thrilled to have you join us as we kickstart our day with positivity and purpose. So, whether you're here to seek connection, community, family, like-minded individuals, you come to the right spot. And on your way in, go ahead and hit that like button. Let me know you're here for the last time. You want to buy your boy a cup of coffee? It's pinned to the top of the chat and on the screen. Shout out to everybody today. How y'all feeling out there? That chick Yo say, you know what, bro? Since we going out with a bang, I'm gonna take my number one spot back. That chick Yo was so fast, I can't even type good morning before she blasted in there. I mean, she quick on the trigger. If I need a shooter, I'm calling you, girl. If I need a shooter, I know who I'm calling because she is, look, quick on the trigger. Let's pop that off. Let's pop this one up. Pop this one up. Auntie Canada, what up? What up? What up? How you feeling this morning? So, we have arrived at a place that I wasn't sure how it would happen. Over a year ago, I started out on a mission, on a journey to understand, one, this thing called YouTube. Two, to prepare myself for things that were to come. And so sometimes for me, I can't speak for anybody else, but I have to, before I undertake something big, I have to do something that's increases my discipline. And so I came up with the idea. I've been wanting to do the YouTube thing, like, for real. I've done a couple of live streams before that, but didn't really understand how it would work or if I was even doing it right. And so I knew I had some things that was going to be coming up. And so I said, you know what? Let me see if my message, my words would resonate on another level. And so I decided to do YouTube, morning motivation, I should say. And oddly enough, the third show that I did was called If You Want Success, You Must Learn This. It was the third show I did. It was September 18th. September 18th. And so today's show is what I've learned about being basically a YouTuber. But the thumbnail is the exact thumbnail I used back then. So I kind of called it a part two because in a lot of ways, that's what this is. It's a reflection day. And so today I'm going to talk about the things that I've learned while on this journey. Some of the hurdles I had to overcome, some of the successes that I've had, and why, if you are of a certain age, and that age could be whatever age you are, honestly, if you have learned a skill, you have some knowledge, and you are thinking about being a YouTuber, you should definitely do it. But I will highlight some of the perils in it for you. And so it's been an interesting experiment for me because I didn't start doing YouTube because I was looking for money. I didn't become a YouTuber because I wanted to, get rich. I wanted to be like, Mr. Beast or I didn't want to be Charleston White. Shout out to my guy Charleston. And I learned a lot. Honestly, speaking of Charleston White, I learned a lot. Y'all know who Charleston White is, right? I learned a lot from Charleston White. I haven't watched like a documentary or am I coming out too loud? I feel like I'm coming out too loud. Maybe it's just in my ears. I haven't watched a documentary on him, but I've seen a lot of his behind the scenes stuff. I see a couple of his interviews because he's an interesting character, and he made some valid points about our community as it stands and what people really are clicking on and watching and searching for. And let's just say I found what he said to be absolutely true. Now, not that it shocked me or I was appalled by anything that he says, because it's shock value. And he did his experiments. He tried it one way, didn't work. Tried another way, gangbusters. And so this journey is perilous for those who are not ready for it. I think the saying goes, "It's not for the faint at heart," right? The faint of heart. If you don't know what you want, a space like YouTube, just the social media space in general, it'll depress you in a lot of ways. So let's get into it today. Let me see. I ain't played my chill vibes in a while. So this particular journey for me has been filled with a lot of highs, couple of lows. But I just want to say off the rip, you ladies and gentlemen have been the driving force that has kept me focused, has kept me disciplined, has kind of kept me on task. Even though I've had to make adjustments along the way, this is episode like 179. If you're playing it, we can't hear it. This is like episode 179. See what I tell y'all. Apple just had a new operating system, and so it might be messing with it a little bit. So I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely playing though. Can you still hear it? Can you still not hear it? So yeah, this is episode 179, and I've been inspired by a lot of you guys. And one of the main reasons that I have been inspired is simply due to the community. Yep, can't hear it. It's been simply due to the community that we've created here. Yeah, man, I don't know. Could you ever hear it this morning? Has the show been blank except for my audio? All right, I got you. Okay, so basically, what I'm saying is all of the stuff that has happened over the last year has been based on the community that we've built. And I'm hoping that I've been an inspiration to you as much as you've been an inspiration to me. So I'm much appreciative of the impact, the efforts that, you guys, because I know getting up first thing in the morning, 7 a.m., if you had a long night, that's an early call to be up and engaged. Even if you're a morning person, which I am, but I'm also a night owl. So I can stay up to 12, 1 and still get up at 5 and 6 and go to work. But it wears on me. So anyway, let me stop filibustering. So let's talk about some of the core lessons that I've learned. And it's something we always hear: persistence and endurance. You gotta have the ability. You gotta have something running through your veins, like antifreeze. You put antifreeze in your radiator so it doesn't freeze up in the wintertime. So it keeps your engine cool. And if you don't have that in your veins, when the tough times come, you lock up, right? And there were some mornings getting up at 5 a.m., getting ready for a show. It felt like I couldn't do it. Because there were times when my mom was not doing well and she'd been up. I'm going to talk about some things that y'all don't even know about. My mom would be sick, man. She'd wake up at 2, 3 in the morning, and I could hear her in the bathroom, and she'd be vomiting. And one morning she had fallen, and so I'm up, trying to make sure she's good, and then I'm getting ready to lay back down, and then I realized, dang, I was so busy last night, I didn't even have time to prepare a show. Because we was going like 5 days a week still. No, 3 days a week. We had kind of switched to 3 days a week. And still getting up, coming, doing the show, not making it about, what was going on in my life. Still trying to motivate, still trying to give some tidbits, some tools, some tips to kind of help, get your life on the way, because life happens to all of us all the time. And so persistence is a key thing that we all need if we're going to make our dreams come true. We're going to turn those dreams into a reality. Life is not going to stop messing with you. And you got to have endurance. So persistence and endurance. Those are two absolutes that you must have. And not if you just want to be a YouTuber. I'm talking about if you want to be a good employee, you want to be a good entrepreneur, if you want to be a good mother, a good father, a good girlfriend, boyfriend, sister, brother, son, daughter. Patience and endurance. Because there's nobody like you. And there's nobody like them. And so you got to figure out how to be together. You got to figure out how to make it work without quitting on it, if you want it to be successful. If you know this is your person, you got to figure it out. And if you don't know this is your person, don't commit to them until you do know that is your person. And then they feel the same way about you. You see, the problem comes in because most people, we have ulterior motives. We have ulterior motives. And we're not quite authentic or genuine with what we do when we go on certain jobs, when we go on certain relationships. And so you have people telling you, like I just did a bunch of interviews for a position that I had at the agency here. And they came in and had their big smiley faces on. They were telling me, why they were the best thing since sliced bread. And I'm just listening. Now, the people at the table with me that were conducting the interview, I had already told them, I said, look, these are a list of questions that I feel are critical that be answered to know if this person is going to be a good fit. But I'm not going to ask any of those questions. Y'all know how I do. So I'm going to give these to y'all. It was three other people at the table. I said, I'm going to give y'all these give y'all copies of this question. It was the director of another agency, a one of our funders, and then one of the facilitators in the room. And I said, look, I'm going to give y'all these. I'm going to ask some very different questions because I want to know, behind the mask. These questions are going to be curveballs. And so I'm sitting there and they're asking these questions and these people are answering questions. And I'm watching how they answer questions. And so my questions were related to pressure, hypotheticals. They're part of the SAT test where it says, hey, here's your logical questions. Here's your paragraphs. Here's your word problems. I was asking those questions because I know once the pressure is applied, people react differently because we want to put our best foot forward. We want to do our best job. But once the pressure is applied, you start to see what's really inside this orange, per se, right? If you squeeze this orange, nothing should come out of there but orange juice and maybe a couple of seeds. Because it's an orange. So if you are what you say you are, when I apply this pressure, I should get nothing but what you said is in there, right? So that's kind of how I conducted some interviews. What is how I conduct my interviews? So being authentic going into your relationships, being authentic going into your work life, even coming to a space like YouTube. That persistence and that endurance, right? The second thing that I learned, force of will. Put a 1 in the chat if you know what force of will is. Force of will. What's your idea of force of will? Because this is something that a lot of people have thrown out there, but I'm not sure if everybody truly understands what it means. Force of will. Because sometimes life doesn't give you the tools you need. And you got to carve your own path. You got to make your own tools. You got to make your own lane. Anytime you're driving down the street, and right now it's probably a prime time to see it, but you see a new subdivision going up. They're building new houses. They're building new office space. They're tearing down this forest to build a commercial building. That's what force of will is. Somebody imagined a thing and they said that all these trees are in the way. There's wildlife there. There's poisonous snakes and spiders. And I ain't talking about modern day. I'm talking about 100, 200 years ago, before there was heavy equipment. Matter of fact, I'm going to talk about something a little unpopular this morning. You know, why not? Colonization. Force of will. Colonization. Ride with this thought for a second. How much, as they say, cojones must you have to hop on a boat, leave your home in search of new lands? And then when you get there, You got to deal with whatever people that already live there. You got to brave the harsh winters or the extremely hot summers. New threats, because there may be animals and plants that you've never seen before that could kill you. Threats from the native people that live there. No resources from home. How determined must you be to want to start colonizing the world? You know how many people died in that pursuit? Millions. Millions of people died for this country to be what it is. That's force of will. That is force of will. Now, I have my thoughts about it. I'm sure you have your thoughts about it. And I'm not here to be political, but to dominate the world requires sheer force of will, sheer persistence and endurance. Those three things. And there's another option. You could have just stayed home, but you chose to go do this and decided that at all costs, this is going to happen. I don't care how I'm feeling today. I don't care how I'm feeling tomorrow. I don't care if it looks good or not. I'm going to do this. Force of will, persistence, endurance. Y'all remember that 5-year bamboo I talked about last year? These bamboo farmers go out and they sow these bamboo seeds. And for 4 years and 6 months, it's nothing but dirt. But they're out there, they're pulling weeds, they're fertilizing, they're watering, making sure that it has what it needs so it can grow. For 4.5 years, they see nothing. Persistence, endurance. And then they see a sprout pop up. A couple months after that, it's 3 feet high. And then the next 2 months, it grows 21 feet, 30 feet. Because what most people miss is that we grow, and we grow just like trees, right? Trees grow down, the roots grow down, right? And then the top comes out. So the tree is growing 2 ways. As humans, we grow 2 ways as well. We grow internally and we grow externally. We grow physically, we grow mentally, right? So when we're going through life, we have enough will to say, I know this is happening, but I'm choosing to do this anyway. That's why most people don't grow when they're comfortable. That's why most people don't achieve great things when they're happy. That's normally when the bottom falls out, because you're happy. You become undisciplined. You let stuff just happen. Oh, it'll be okay. I probably should say something, but we're having a good time. Because we drop our persistence and we drop the endurance because we are in a good space. And our will decreases. And now stuff start to creep in. What's that saying? Hard times create great men. Great men create easy times. And easy times create weak men. It goes something like that. Y'all catch the drift. So, persistence, endurance, and force of will is something that I've had to learn this year. We decided to do the show. Then we decided to buy a house. Celebrations. Yay! We getting everything we want to. We getting everything we thought we wanted. Took a Christmas little trip. Come back. Stopped by my mom's crib. And then when I walked in the house and I looked at her, I knew something is really wrong. I'm starting to really see now because I hadn't seen it before. But now it's obvious. And I think everybody in the house knew it. So I said, "Nah, Ma, you got to come live with me now." She was like, what if I don't want to come?" I said, "I know, I get it, but it's time. I want you to have the best quality of life." And boom, we had the house celebrating, right? Then over the next couple of months, boom, boom, next thing, life. My mom's sicker and sicker. She's going in the hospice. My dad passes away and unexpectedly. And then the bottom fell out, right? I think I took more time off for Christmas than I took off when life fell out. Because I set a goal. And I got tired of starting over. I got tired of not being true to my own word. Because what happens is when we are not true to our own word, our own subconscious mind doesn't act when we tell it to act. This is why people say, "I know I should have did that, but I just didn't. I wanted to, had every intention on it, but I didn't." Because we done lied to the worst person you can lie to, which is yourself. We've lied to the absolute worst person that you should lie to. And that's always a no-no. Never lie to yourself. So what are some other things I learned? I can get off that soapbox right now. I've learned about marketing and monetization. This show taught me the power of storytelling and authenticity, especially in building a brand. Even though I didn't start this show for monetary reasons, I understand now what it would take. I understand now that marketing isn't about selling. Marketing is about connecting. When all these advertisers are putting things, TV ads, social media ads, the majority of them don't do well because they're doing more selling than connecting. It's the connection that endears people to you. It's the connection that makes people want to support what you do. And monetization comes naturally when you created something of value, when you've connected to enough people that value your content. That's when monetization, it happens. So you have some people, like I remember, it's a young lady, Yoki. She's down in Florida. Some of y'all might know who I'm talking about right now. I remember when she started her channel, which was, I'm not sure, it was 2 years ago. It might have been 2 years ago. But she started her channel in, I'm going to just throw an arbitrary month out there. She started her channel in May. By August, she already had like 50,000 subscribers. Why? Because her channel is about guns, hunting, which has a very large audience base anyway. But now she's a black or black mix, maybe Latina black mix. I think she's black, but she might be mixed with something. And she's very shapely. And so my first thought was, who is this? And what is this chick is in the swamp, in some tights, shooting, hunting, roping, dragging a hog out of the creek. Fascinating content, whether she looked like she looked or not, right? Her looks didn't even matter, because I would have watched it whether she was a guy or a girl. Because I watch plenty of guys who do it. And so the novelty of seeing a lady do it at that manner was like, wow. I'm impressed. Because she was doing it better than some of the guys that I watched do it. And she looked better doing it. Shout out to her. So she found a niche that she enjoyed that connects with gun owners, hunters, pervs. And she created content that had value. And so she got monetized probably in her first week. And now she's a full-time YouTuber, and she's going all over the place, hunting with different channels, partnering with different people. Going back to Charleston White. That's what Charleston White did. Charleston White went out here, man, and he was standing at Senate subcommittees. He was at commissioner meetings trying to build up the community, trying to get policy passed and legislation passed, and nobody cared. Because he was a funny looking skinny dude, country guy from Texas. And he wasn't able to connect with people because the people he was trying to serve didn't see the value in what he was doing. So, this is a case of somebody figuring out and giving the people what they want. So he started talking reckless. He started being bold, polarizing, and he was ticking people off left and right. But you know what? One thing is true. People love to watch accidents. They love to watch train wrecks. People like gory stuff. And he's just started giving it in droves. And now he's able to give the message he was trying to give, but he does it in a more mean sounding way. So you have people like when Kevin Samuels was at his peak, everybody was saying, I don't like the way he's saying it. Yeah, he might be saying what's true, but his tone is bad. But how many people out there, I wouldn't throw myself in this, my tone, I am not being polarizing. I am being considerate. I am being fair. I'm being balanced. I'm not throwing no gender group, no person under a bus. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm saying, hey, empowerment. Yes, this is how we succeed. This is how we get ahead. And it sucks some days because I know if I drop a couple of F-bombs and I start blaming women or I start blaming men, my numbers would skyrocket. Because I know I am a good speaker. I know I'm a good presenter. I know I'm a good storyteller. So why doesn't my videos do thousands the day I drop them? Why isn't there 17,000 people on these live streams? Because I'm not a train wreck. Because I'm talking about you growing by the work you do. I'm not here as an entertainer. I'm here more as a teacher. And most people don't think and most people don't want to learn. Most people want to be entertained. So marketing and monetization. If you are looking to grow, your channel, if you are looking to attract a bunch of opposite sex partners or opportunities, why do you think we live it in BBL Central and Botox Central and scantily clad everything? Because you have to be polarizing. You have to garner the most attention. And so people are doing that in spades. And so the average person who wants people to see them for who they are, not just their assets, they have some struggles finding that partner. And then the person that's unscrupulous, the chick that's putting babies on dudes, the dudes who out here being toxic energy with all the women and got 17 girls in 13 countries, they seem to be having all the success. It's marketing and monetization. And I know this is some wild things that I'm saying this morning, but this is what I've learned this year being in the YouTube space. I watch and I observe these YouTubers and how they build their platforms, and it makes sense. I get it. Auntie Canada say it's crazy that most people gravitate to toxicity and negativity instead of positivity. And that's the rub. Because if you ask a person, what they want most in life, in their top 3 will be peace. I just want peace. I just want to be at peace. I want to be happy. But what people fail to understand is that you don't get peace and happiness when you surround yourself in drama. When you're trying to keep up with what the next person is doing, that's not peace. That's not happy. If you're searching for validation, you're not ever going to feel peace and happiness. Well, you will, but it's going to be short-lived. And so that's some of the things that I learned, in this space. Another thing is building community. Community matters way more than I ever thought it did. You see, I had convinced myself since I was a child that I don't need people. I love people. Don't get me wrong. I love people. But people are going to hurt you. People are going to lie to you. People are selfish. So one of the reasons you're in a truck. Yeah, man. And I imagine being in that truck, you get a chance to hear all kinds of stuff. I'm on a truck. Yep. Yep. Just random thought just popped in my head, right? I had my CDL for a time, and I remember when I was driving, I listened to a lot of talk radio. I imagine now you can listen to a little bit of everything. Now back then it was satellite radio, because this was probably early 2000s, and so social media wasn't a thing just yet. It wasn't popping like it is now. YouTube hadn't even been wasn't even a thing at that time, I don't think. But I remember, I think it was like Howard Stern. Who else was it? It was so many people out there. It was a lot of radio personalities. And I'm just driving and I'm listening and I'm thinking to myself, these people get paid to say and do the wildest things for other people's entertainment. And they're actually building communities of these people. And I'm like, I know a lot of people. I've met a lot of people. And for the most part, we're all pretty much the same. We say we want the same things, but most people don't really be wanting what they say they want. And so my biggest lesson as far as community goes is how I started this show. None of this that I've done, these 179 episodes, it wouldn't have happened without you, the community. Life is about relationships. And this show it kind of became a reminder that together we can achieve so much more. When we lock in with each other, when I get out of myself and I allow people to be a part of what I'm doing, and I become a part of what they're doing, you get further faster. You can go higher. You can get things done at a speed that you never could have done it by yourself. And so for me, this was my biggest lesson. It was my biggest reason for continuing the show when the bottom fell out. Because I hope to give you guys value, but you guys showing up, which is why I used to make a big deal about, who was first in the building and who was in the building. I wanted to shout everybody out because it's community. Every person matters. In a community, every person matters. There are no big I's and little U's. So whether you are building a YouTube community, whether you are building a work community, a brotherhood, a sisterhood, we know y'all sisters be rock with each other to the death. Whatever it is, man, it's important. It's important. Being a lone wolf, it's a treacherous lifestyle because there's too many other predators out there. And if you don't have a pack, you're gonna struggle in life. And if you are the smartest person in your circle, you need another circle. You need a bigger community. You need to go join another community. And this is the problem that a lot of men have when they're trying to lead their families. You got men trying to lead their families, but they're not submitted to nobody else. There's no other man that can tell them, hey man, you kind of was a little too close to that girl over there, bro. You need to back that up. Hey man, I noticed you at the bar, happy hour every Friday. Your wife ain't never here. You need to, keep your family close. Hey man, your wife had a little bruise on her cheek last week. Y'all good? Or, hey man, when last time you seen your kids? You ain't talking to your kids? You don't have no relationship with your children? Yeah man, nah man, she be tripping. What she got to do with them kids? You know what, bro? We about to hang out, but I can't support nobody. I can't hang out with no dude who ain't taking care of his kids. We can't be cool. Because if your kids can't trust you, how the hell can I trust you? If you a man and you don't answer to nobody else, you ain't got nobody that can check you, you're going to abuse your family. You're going to abuse your power. Community matters. Everybody should be accountable to somebody. If the kids are accountable to the wife and the wife accountable to the husband, who the husband accountable to? Don't tell me God, because God give us free will. And then you ain't praying, you ain't reading your Bible, you ain't going to church. Don't give me that God stuff. What other man has the access to check you when needed? Am I my brother's keeper? Right? Everybody needs accountability. Everybody needs accountability. One of my best friends was going through something with his wife, and he was just like, man, I'm just gonna. He said, I'm like, bro, hey, I understand why you feel the way you feel. It's cool. I said, look, I'm riding with you. I got you. Whatever I need to do, I'll do it. But if you ever tell me that you gonna drop her and the kid again, if you tell me you gonna drop your kid, bro, don't call my phone no more. Come on, man. Why not? Because the person that you helped create on this planet, you would abandon? What chance do I stand? I got trust issues. If your kids can't trust you, how can I? But anyway, I'm gonna get off that soapbox. Auntie Canada says, I have people in my space that hold me accountable, people that I trust, and people that know me and spend time with daily. Exactly, that's what you need. But we live in this space now. We live in this world now that nobody wants to be held accountable. I make this joke with my wife sometimes. Like we'll be watching TV and the lady would do something wrong and she would kind of never want to apologize, right? And I make the joke of like she'd rather lose her whole left arm than say I'm sorry or admit that she was wrong. And this is not just the latest thing. I know a lot of dudes out there that don't want to accept no responsibility either. I'm just saying we're all people. And we all want to hold other people accountable, but don't want anybody to hold us accountable. We get too sensitive, we get emotional, we get in our feelings when somebody has something to say that isn't praising us. If you live by the cheers, you die by the boos. So I don't care whether you're trying to praise me. I don't care whether you're trying to criticize me. I'm listening. I'm going to take it all in. Pause. Oh, speaking of which, y'all know Diddy might be about to get out of jail, y'all. I'm just saying. I don't know where this is coming from, but I said pause, right? And so I guess what I'm saying is another thing that I learned more about, because I had it in spades, but it's fortitude. Fortitude is the quiet strength to keep moving forward when you're carrying the weight of the world. It's about resilience. It's about finding hope even when the odds are stacked against you. Fortitude. Being able to come out of a dark place when others would have laid down and died. Fortitude. I said I was going to do it. I'm going to keep moving. I'm not going to complain about this happening in my mom's life, this happening in my dad's life. I'll tell you about it because it matters to me. And because we're community, I know you care too. But guess what? I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going even though I don't like the job that I have. I'm going to keep going even though my company ain't doing well. I'm going to keep going even though everything is doing great. I'm going to keep going. Fortitude. Intestinal fortitude, as some would say. I know I'm kind of filibustering. Well, I ain't going to say filibuster. I know I'm preaching a lot today. But this is the last hoorah. And so everything that we've talked about in this year, everything, it's all been the same thing. What do you want? How can you get it? And don't let nothing stop you. Not even yourself. Not even the weather. Not even your sister, your brother, your auntie, your mama, your daddy, your uncle. Them co-workers. What do you want? Because sometimes we get that unction on the inside of us, right? We get that unction on the inside of us to do a thing. And we say, nah, I don't feel like it today. We put it off. And you know what happens when you put it off? You miss your time. You miss your opportunity. You miss your time, you miss your opportunity. And once you do that, you sit back, you stuck waiting for it to happen again. And guess what? It might be a long time before the opportunity comes up again. And so this year has been somewhat of a reality check for me. And here's something that life taught me. Which, not life. This something this show taught me. Life doesn't care about your plans. Life doesn't care that you decided you were going to do A, B, and C. Life doesn't care. I mean, life don't care that you wanted to accomplish this, you wanted to lose weight, you wanted to build a new career. Life doesn't care. Life will laugh at you and say, haha, we shall see. What about this unexpected event? But that's not the reason to stop. You see, being flexible, being adaptable, putting processes in place to simplify the goals or the desires that you have. Flexibility. It's a must because you don't know what life's going to throw, but trust me, it's going to throw some stuff at you. So, some parting words. Some advice, some things that I think about quite a lot. Well, one is keep showing up. Keep showing up. Success isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. Show up for yourself, show up for your dreams, and for the people who count on you. Keep showing up. Number 2, embrace the hard days. Some days will knock you down, but those are the days that build character. Lean into that struggle because that's what's going to shape you into somebody stronger. That's what's going to give you the quote unquote chops to be your absolute best. You don't get stronger sitting on the couch. You get stronger when you go to the gym. Number 3, celebrate the small wins. Don't wait for the big victories. You know, sometimes we sit back and we wait for life to be perfect, or we wait for the perfect opportunity to present itself. Meanwhile, we're hitting all these little small milestones and we are ignoring them. We're not counting them as quality. Remember that every step forward is progress. So you have to celebrate it. Hey, we got approved for this. Yay, celebration. Hey, my credit score went up a point. Yay, celebration. The small things matter. Small things matter. Number 4, build and nurture your community. Build and nurture your community. And your community is the people who lift you up and remind you why. Remind you why. Whether it's your why you started what you were doing, or reminds you why they follow you. That's the community that you need to build and nurture. Oh yeah, one little other piece to that. Don't forget to be, what's the way to say it? Don't forget to be the person to your community that your community is for you. Yeah. Because sometimes we'll just take and we'll take and we'll take and we don't give back. And it's sometimes it's because we don't know to give back. Sometimes it's because we're still growing and we can't give back. But when you can, give back. Communities are reciprocal. They ebb and they flow just like life. And if you have a community of people, there are going to be some seasons that you're going to give more. And then some seasons you're going to receive less. And some seasons you'll receive more and you'll give less. But you have to be conscious that what you're taking from the community, that you give back to the community as well. That's part of the process. And the fifth thing will be life is not a journey, it's a destination. We talk about this. We've talked about this at length. And this show has reminded me that success isn't a finish line. It's a process. And that process, most of us, purpose is self-discovery. Discovering who you are. Discovering what makes you come alive. What gives you that fire in your belly that says, oh, I'm going to do this regardless. Oh, I am going to ride this wave because I feel most alive in this space. It's the reason why in your 20s, you're a lot less risk averse. You don't mind the risk in your 20s. You'll do more dangerous things. Because there's not much, you don't have much to lose. You don't have a family yet, no children, no spouse, no significant other, and you just living a reckless life, but it's exciting. That's why sports are played by young people. You don't think older people can play sports, but do you really want to see a 45-year-old professional football player or NBA player? I mean, they might be good, but they ain't got the juice no more. They don't want to take those hits no more. There's a certain point you can't even join the military. I was surprised to hear my daughter say she had 40-year-olds in there. Because at a point you're like, bro, no. Because you change. You become more conservative as you get older. Because you are discovering who you are. What you like, what you don't like, what your body needs, what it don't need. When in your 20s, man, you got to be foolish to run as fast as you can and run into another person. And I did it for years. You think I'm going to do it now? Heck no. No, not going to happen. Not going to happen. And so over this year, man, these are the things that have been major factors in my life. They've been major building blocks for me. Because it's not that I didn't know all these things. But I've come through the process. I'm stronger. I'm better. I understand more. And now I'm prepared for my next level. When I do have a little bit more at stake, when I do have to follow a little bit more protocol, I've redisciplined myself because I had gotten lazy. I started sitting on the couch too much. I started doing some things that were not productive. So I needed to make myself come alive in a sense again. And so now a couple of new opportunities have presented itself to me. And that is really the only reason why this show in this format is ending. There will be some other stuff happening down the road, but all things in its time. All things in its time. And so my mornings, I need my mornings back. I thought about moving the show back to like maybe 9. That would give me a couple of hours, but then it would throw me into time constraints with other stuff that I had going on. And so the only idea I could think of that would really preserve the community was to just take it solely on Facebook, since we already have a developed community there. And this channel, Jamon Glover Speaks, will still be around. It's not going anywhere as long as I'm around. That is. But this particular group, I want you guys are really my first community. The first community that I felt like I was a part of, and I felt like was a part of me. Which is why January, MLK weekend, invitations will be going out, but it will be the first morning motivation meetup group. And so invitations and all that stuff will be happening in our Facebook group. So if you haven't joined the Facebook group, now is a good time to join that Facebook group. We're going to host you guys here at our home. We're going to have a great day. Maybe a couple days, depending on how wild it gets. But I'm excited for that. I count you all as family, man. I'm grateful for all your contributions and all your energy, all your thoughts and your comments. And I know it's hard for everybody to get here every day. I don't expect everybody to be here every day. But for those that show up day in and day out, special place right there. Very special place right there. And so I was looking back at, y'all might not even be able to see this, but from where I am now to, let me see, can I make this work? Life. But one thing I really want to, can y'all hear that? Touch on or kind of get focused in on right now is, oh, let's not do that. Yeah, one thing I really want to focus in on right now is the prime effect. We all know about the prime effect. Our good brother Deion Sanders has excelled in college athletics, professional athletics. And see, I just talked about this on Monday, right? Coach Prime. I've been saying the same thing for over a year now. You've seen the show grow. I got the pre-roll video now, and I've changed up the way the logo sits on the screen because, just growth, small things, even though I had a lot going on. And so I'm going to just go through this a little bit. If I'm not mistaken, we were still doing like gratitudes and affirmations, and it was a lot of stuff. Hold on, let me get back to it. Let me stop. All right. Baseball and football. He's also with private sector, and he started coaching and just started doing a lot of great. We talked about that already. Let me go on past that. They not struggling. They're always winning. They're always winning. They're given this, they're handed that, and just because they're confident, they seem to have a certain je ne sais quoi, if you will. Okay, shout out to me. But then they take that first major L, and the world falls apart. They cannot handle it because their self-image was propped up. It wasn't built up. And ladies, gentlemen, that's what this channel is about. To keep it a buck with you, this channel is about building yourself up, inner man, inner woman, proving who you are to yourself, loving who you are through yourself, and not waiting on somebody else's validation. Because we are more than enough. We are more than we think we are. Some people, they think they're a little more than they are, but hey, neither here nor there. If you earn it, that's cool. But we're talking about proof, earning your own respect, before you ever look at the world's validation. Being comfortable in your own skin is where you want to be. Being comfortable when you walk into a room and not care whether you're being judged. You know how freeing that is? And so what I love about this weekend's game, I don't want to go too there. I don't want to get preachy on you. So this weekend's game, you have
Too late, bro. But anyway, y'all catch the drift, bro. I've been talking about the same stuff, just in different ways for a whole year, and I knew going into it. I can only be who I am. I can only be who I am. Let me fast forward a little bit on that. I can only be who I am. And so for me to be disingenuous to come on here and start talking about, pop culture and all these things like consistently, it wouldn't be more than motivation because my personality isn't built that way. I'm always looking for the lesson in things and how to be better. But let's continue.
For a chance to tie this game up. And they methodically did it. 2 penalties along the way was drove back, but they came back and they did it.
Okay, I'm talking about a game
and
right
in
now.
them, the team that expected to win from the moment it started to the moment it ended won. And so what does that say for us? How much can we take? How much can we endure, Pause? How much can we endure in life?
I'm kind of a funny guy, y'all.
How much are we willing to go through? What price are we willing to pay for those things that we say we want? Yeah, it sounds good to speak your dream out loud and to hear it. And it should scare you a little bit. If it don't, you ain't dreaming big enough. But in order to get that thing that you really want, do you realize how much hell you're going to have to go through to get it? Especially if it's a worthwhile dream or goal. If it's something that's going to move the needle in your life. If it's something that you've never done before. Nobody in your family has ever done it before. Do you know? Do you have any idea what you got to go through to actually make that happen? Yeah. You got to go through a lot. That price is steep. But it's not until you get into that fight that you begin to realize who you are. So when you meet somebody and they got this cocky bravado, this cocky swag, don't judge them. Check their proof. What do they have to show for all of this? Don't fall for it. Just sit back, observe. Look at their life. Don't look at how they drive, how they live, because all that's flash. Flash matters, don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is substance. If your inner person is not built off of substance, you could very well be toxic. And I think this is where a lot of toxicity comes from, because we're putting on false bravados. We're operating out of trauma. But that's why I love this game this week. That's why I love.
All right, yeah. I just want to do a little flashback. It was a little bit over a year ago, but that was. I think life moves in cycles, right? And so there is no new information under the sun. There is no new thing that we're going to learn that's going to take us to the next level. Because the thing, we already have it inside of us. We already know it. It's the application that's going to take us to the next level. It's the building of our foundations. And so this iteration of morning motivation is going away. But it was a stepping stool. It was a refining process for me. And so I was dedicated to helping you guys figure out what your goals were, what your dreams were. And I know everybody has gleaned something, but it's 3 people in particular that I know has stepped out and did something different. My guy, Brick by Brick, he was the first to start his own trucking company. Then Auntie Canada, she had already written a book, but now then she ended up, I guess, reluctantly leading a group, but now she's taking full ownership of it. D-Rob moved a couple of states from home to pursue a job or a career path that he wanted. So I know that's just 3 examples. I know there's other people who are doing other things because they felt the push from the show. That's the reciprocal. That's part of the reciprocal anyway in the community. And so I don't want to lose that because I feel like we are connected for a reason. I feel like this is not the end for this group as a whole. We have so much more to do. But it was a piece. We were supposed to find each other when we found each other. And the next, let's look at it this way. When I started, it was just me. Or me and my wife, right? Then it was me and 5 other people. Then it was us 5 and then 5 more people, right? So we have probably 35, 40 people who watch this show on the regular. 35, 40 people. You know, from YouTube numbers, that is, in a lot of categories, it's above average. In the extreme categories, it's below average, right? Cause like I said, old girl, she had 50,000 subscribers in 3 months. She probably had, 10 her first week. But this is not that kind of show. This is not that kind of channel. But what we're doing, we're right on pace. If this show was to continue in the space it is, it would have to change a few things. To be a little bit more appealing to a larger audience. But I think where we're going to go is going to be so much bigger. But it's not just me coming now. Because I know that chick, I know Auntie Canada, I know Craig G, I know D-Rob, I know Monique and Blaxican and Jermaine and Randy and Kay and my wife, of course. I know for a fact I got 10 strong people that's right beside me. So this is a success. This is a victory. And I want all y'all to know too that I'm right beside y'all as well. Because I truly feel the connection and the kinship with you. And that's pretty much it. I've talked for a long time, man. I know I've kind of, it's way past what our normal time would be, but I figured we might go a little bit later. Anybody got any final thoughts, man? Any final anything? I know some of y'all in a position where y'all can't really text. So y'all know, Facebook group, it is open. I'm going to be more active in there. Actually, probably starting today. Because I got a lot of cooking to do, man. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. So I gotta go downstairs now. And I gotta start getting this bird ready. I gotta marinate some other meats. I gotta cut up these collard greens and these yams. So I got a lot of prep work to do today at the house. So I might go do a little Facebook Live, morning motivation group Facebook Live at some point in the day especially when I start messing with when I start cutting these greens, because that's a tedious process. So yeah. It's a little bit more of a tedious process. And I got my daughter, and my granddaughter and her boyfriend or her man friend is coming today. And I think my oldest brother is coming today. Also, I got to call him too. But anyway, so today's going to be a very busy day. No work outside of the house. I'm going to be home preparing foods and getting ready for tomorrow. Hosted probably about 20 people. So, Facebook Morning Motivation Group is where it's going to be going down. Probably from this day forward. At least until
until my schedule changes again, or I get some other things solidified, and then we can do a morning motivation. Probably won't be 7 a.m. 7 a.m. was definitely an experiment. If I started it over, it would probably be about 8:30. It's probably having between like 8:30 and 9:30. You know, that morning drive time, just getting to work. But yeah, that's what it will be. I know y'all, for some reason, like I said, morning motivation, man. It wouldn't be right if my last day I didn't have audio troubles. So I know y'all can't hear it, but in my ears, I know what's happening. So I want to wish everybody. I will definitely give Bobby your love. She's probably gonna be mad at me because I didn't wake her up. But I heard her alarm go off, so I thought she was gonna get up, but no. She hasn't stirred yet. The bedroom door is still closed. So she's probably going to be a little hot with me because I didn't wake her up. And it wasn't on purpose. It's just, I didn't think about it. By the time I did, shows had already started. So, but she'll definitely be chiming in the Facebook group. So you guys get a chance to see her here and talk to her a little bit more in that over there. But it has been a true pleasure. I appreciate everybody who's commented, who's liked, who's subscribed, who's been a part of this journey. And I'm so grateful for your time and your energy. I see a couple of tear emojis and it's like, yo, I feel the same way. I feel the same way. And so as I close this chapter, I want to leave you with this. Life will test you, push you, and sometimes it will break you. But if you keep showing up, keep believing, and keep building, you'll find strength you never knew you had. Thank you for being a part of this journey. This is not goodbye. It's see you later. Stay strong, stay persistent, and keep chasing your dreams. And so, signing off for the final time, I'm your boy Juman, and I'm grateful to have met you, and I look forward to what's happening in the future. So you guys go out, have a great holiday season, spend time with your family, love, laugh, enjoy. But remember, you are more than enough. You have everything it takes to be as successful as you desire to be. You just got to know what you want, figure out how to go get it, and then go make it happen. That's success in life. That's the secret to it. And I believe in you, and I will see you on the journey. Signing off, more than motivation. Your boy, your uncle, your nephew, Jamal. Peace, family. It's been a pleasure.